Close this video and you might miss the one thing you'll wish you heard sooner. And I don't mean next week. I mean years from now. When you're lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at a ceiling, wondering where your life went. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here because I'm dying. And when you're dying, you stop caring about sounding dramatic. You start caring about what's true. So if you stay, really stay, and listen to the next few minutes, you might save yourself from becoming me. 42 years old, full of plans, full of some days, out of time. 42 years. That's not supposed to be the end. That's halftime. That's midlife crisis convertible age, not this. I used to joke that I was careful, responsible, practical. Turns out, I was just afraid. Afraid to say yes. I said no to a lot of things. No to my brother when he asked me to go camping one last time before he moved across the country. No, I've got work. He moved. We text sometimes. Haven't seen him in 6 years. No to my mom when she wanted the whole family to take a vacation together. No, it's too expensive. She passed 2 years later. We never took that trip. No to my friends who wanted to start a business. No, it's risky. They tried anyway. It failed. They laugh about it now. They have stories. I just have spreadsheets. No to learning guitar. No to dancing at weddings. No to traveling. No to love. Once. There was this woman. She wanted to backpack through Europe for 3 months. She asked me to come. I said, "That's irresponsible." She said, "Irresponsible to who?" I didn't have an answer. Just fear disguised as logic. She went without me, met someone, married him. They send Christmas cards from places I've never been. I always thought I had time. That's the lie you tell yourself when you say, "No, I'll do it later. Next year, when things calm down, when I have more money, when I feel ready." Let me tell you something from a hospital bed with tubes in my arms. Later is a myth. When the doctor first said the word cancer, I remember nodding like he'd told me the weather forecast. Stage 4. He kept talking. I stopped listening. All I could think was, I never went to Japan. I never learned Spanish. I never took that cooking class. I never saw the ocean at sunrise. You'd think I'd regret the mistakes, the stupid things I did. I don't. I regret the things I didn't do. Regret isn't loud when you're young. It whispers. It's easy to ignore. But here, in the quiet at 3 a.m., it screams. I used to measure my life by stability. Savings account? Check. Mortgage payments? On time. Career ladder? Climbed safely. But no one gathers around your hospital bed to admire your 401k. They gather for memories. And when people started visiting me, I realized something. They told stories. Remember that time we got lost? Remember that night we stayed up till sunrise? Remember when we almost missed that flight? I kept thinking, no, I don't remember. I wasn't there. I was home, working, being responsible, saying no. I told myself I was protecting my future. Turns out, I was sacrificing my present. I'm not saying you should quit your job tomorrow and run into the wilderness. I'm not saying be reckless. But I am saying this. Every no costs something. Sometimes it costs money, sometimes comfort, sometimes pride. But sometimes it costs your life. Not in years, in living. There's a difference. You can survive 40 years and only live 5. I survived 42. I think I lived maybe 10. The rest was planning, preparing, waiting for the perfect moment. Here's a secret. The perfect moment never arrives. It doesn't knock on your door and say, "Okay, now you're ready to be brave." Bravery feels like stupidity at first. When my friend wanted to start that ridiculous food truck business, I had spreadsheets proving it would fail. And it did, spectacularly. But he lights up when he tells the story. He met his wife during that mess. They still joke that burnt tacos brought them together. I stayed safe. I stayed alone. I said no to visiting my grandfather in the hospital because I didn't want to see him like that. What I really meant was, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. He died 2 days later. I thought I was protecting myself from pain, but pain is part of the deal. You don't get to skip it and still claim you lived fully. You can't selectively participate in life. It's all or nothing. When the chemo started failing, I had a lot of time to think. That's the curse of this place. Time slows down. You replay decisions. I kept going back to moments where someone invited me into something unknown. A road trip, a new job in a different city, a blind date, a spontaneous weekend away. Every time my brain did what brains do. It calculated risk. What if it's awkward? What if you waste money? What if you fail? What if you look stupid? It never asked, what if it's amazing? Why is fear always louder than possibility? I thought saying no made me mature. Now I think it just made me smaller. Smaller world, smaller circle, smaller stories. If I could go back, not to change everything, just to whisper in my own ear, I'd say this. Say yes more often. Yes to the dinner invitation. Yes to the trip you can barely afford, to telling someone how you feel, to apologizing first. Yes to learning something new even if you're terrible at it. Because here's what I've learned. Embarrassment fades, money returns, jobs change, opinions shift. Time does not. And health? It can vanish in a single appointment. I used to think death was the thing to fear. It's not. The real fear is reaching the end and realizing you were a spectator in your own life, watching, evaluating, declining. I don't want that for you. Whoever you are watching this, maybe you're 20, maybe you're 50, maybe you think you've got decades ahead. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. None of us are owed a long life. We're only given today. And today is usually disguised as ordinary. It's just a Tuesday, just a random call from a friend, just an idea, just an invitation. But those justs are the building blocks of a full life. I don't know how much time I have left. Days, weeks. It's strange. When the future shrinks, the present becomes sharp, precious. Yesterday, the sunlight hit the floor just right. I watched dust floating in it. It was beautiful. I don't remember noticing things like that before. I was too busy planning tomorrow. Don't wait for a hospital room to make you pay attention. Don't wait for a diagnosis to call your brother. Don't wait for regret to push you onto a plane. Call the person. Book the ticket. Start the project. Say the words, even if your voice shakes, especially if your voice shakes. Because courage isn't loud. It's a quiet decision to move forward despite fear. I thought I needed certainty before action. You don't. You need action to discover certainty. If I had one more healthy year, just one, I wouldn't spend it optimizing anything. I'd spend it collecting moments. Messy ones, imperfect ones, real ones. I'd hug longer, laugh louder, travel farther, risk more. Love without hedging my bets. I can't get that year back, but you might still have yours. Don't waste it being the careful version of yourself if it means being the absent version too. Say no when it truly matters, when it protects your values, your well-being. But don't say no just because you're scared. Fear is a terrible life coach. If this reaches even one person who's on the fence about something, about a trip or a conversation or a dream, and you choose yes because of this, then maybe my life won't feel so small after all. Maybe this right here is my yes. I don't know what happens after this. No one does. But I do know this. When the lights go out, the only thing that stays with you are your moments. Make sure you have enough of them. Make sure your life feels like a story worth telling. Don't be the man who said no to everything. Be the one who tried, who stumbled, who failed, who loved. Be the one who said yes.